That's just getting you warmed up for some Shakespeare. Thank you so much, Louis. I want to thank some other people who've made this evening possible. I want to thank all of the staff here at Solano Prison and also at the CDCR. The state of California has been funding arts programs in prisons for the last 4 years. Yay! And I encourage all of you, if you aren't participating yet in one of the arts programs here at this institution, to check them out. There's some cool programs: creative writing, knitting, Shakespeare. Yeah. We wouldn't be able to do this program without a lot of help from the staff and without funding from the California Arts Council in the state of California. Marin Shakespeare Company now has programs in 8 California state prisons, soon to be 11, and we love sharing this work. I also want to thank all of our volunteers and the men in the group. They've put in a lot of work to present the play that you're going to see today. I want to thank our technicians who put up these mics because this room does not have great acoustics. We hope you'll be able to hear the play. If you're sitting in the back and you want to move up, I encourage you to do that. Okay, now, I want to tell you a little bit about some of the characters who you're going to meet, because I think it helps you in following the story. So, this play takes place when the rightful Duke, who's played by Louis, who you just saw, has been exiled by his younger brother. So his younger brother has taken over all the power and wealth in the kingdom, and he sent his older brother off to the forest of Arden, where he and a few of his loyal men are living outside of all of their comforts, away from their families, in a situation not of their choosing. And yet, our Duke, Duke Senior, Louis, who you just saw, says, "Sweet are the uses of adversity." He finds in adversity sweetness, an opportunity to find what's good in nature. He talks about how, at the court, there's so much going on, people hate you, there's politics, but here we are in nature, and there's something beautiful about that, even though we don't have all the comforts of home. So, we have our two dukes, our rightful duke, who's exiled to the forest of Arden, and Duke Frederick, his younger brother, who has seized all of the power in the land. Each of those dukes has a daughter, and Rosalind is the daughter of Duke Senior, Celia is the daughter of Duke Frederick. They're best friends. So early on in the play, Duke Frederick decides that he doesn't want Rosalind around anymore. He just doesn't trust her anymore. She's grown up. She's, he wants his daughter to be the only one who shines in the kingdom. So he exiles her. And Celia, her best friend, says, "Hey, I'm going with you. I'm going to share your fate." And they say, "Where should we go?" "Let's go to the forest of Arden." But beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold. It isn't really safe for a couple of young women, beautiful young women, to travel alone into the savage forest of Arden. So they decide that Rosalind will dress like a boy, and Celia, and she's going to be called Ganymede, and Celia will dress like a poor woman. And she's going to take the name of Aliena, so they'll be disguised, and maybe no one will attack and rape them as they're making their way to the forest of Arden. There's a couple of fools who live at the court, and they decide to try to get the fools to come with them. Their names are Touch and Stone. And before they leave, before the Duke tells Rosalind that she has to leave, there's a wrestling match. And you're going to meet the champion wrestler in the realm. His name is Charles. And at that wrestling match, Charles wrestles with a young man named Orlando. And Orlando, at the wrestling match, meets Rosalind and Celia, and Rosalind and Orlando they really like each other. In fact, this play is full of instances when people fall in love at first sight. You'll see it happening all the time. It's a romantic comedy. Now, Orlando has an older brother, and their father has recently died. And the father, in his will, said to Oliver, the older brother, I want you to give your younger brothers an education, give them money, make sure they have nice clothes. But Oliver hasn't been doing that. So at the very beginning of the play, when we meet Orlando, he's really upset that he hasn't been allowed to go to school. He's just been used like a hired hand around the farm, shoveling out the shit from the horses and the pigs, and he hasn't been given any money or nice clothes or an education. He's really mad about that. He fights with his brother about it, and then his brother decides to kill him. And he's going to come and burn down the shack where Orlando sleeps. But there's a loyal servant named Adam, and he overhears this, and he tells Orlando. So Adam and Orlando decide that they're gonna run away so that Oliver won't kill Orlando in his sleep. And where do you think they go? To the Forest of Arden. That's where everybody goes when they run away. So, in the Forest of Arden, so Orlando, because he's fallen in love with Rosalind, when he gets to the forest, all he wants to do is write love poems and love songs, and he writes these poems and he sticks them on the trees, and Rosalind and Celia find the love poems, and they go, oh my gosh, there's somebody in the forest who's writing love poems to Rosalind. Who could that be? And they meet up with Orlando, which is great for Rosalind because she loves the guy, but it's weird because she's dressed as a man. So, what does Rosalind do? She says to Orlando, I hear there's some guy who's really in love. Could that be you? And he goes, oh yeah, it's me. And she goes, nah, I don't think you're really in love. And he goes, yes, I'm really in love. I love Rosalind so much. Oh yeah, I do. And Rosalind's like, yeah, oh yeah. And she said, well, you know what? Love sucks. It's just a madness. Love drives you crazy. I'll tell you what, I'll cure you of being in love. Here's how I'm going to do it. Come to me every day, and I'll pretend to be Rosalind, and you can woo me, and I'll show you what women are like. They're so changeable. They cry, they laugh. You know, they're horrible. You don't want to be around women. I'll cure you of being in love with Rosalind. So that's what Orlando does. He comes to Ganymede, who's really Rosalind, and pretends that she's Rosalind, which she really is, but he doesn't know. Okay, some other characters who you're going to meet in the Forest of Arden. It's complicated, this is why I wanted to explain it. Some other characters you're going to meet in the Forest of Arden. There's an old shepherd named Corin and a young shepherd named Silvius. Silvius is also in love. He's in love with Phoebe. That's me, by the way. Hello. And of course you should be in love with me because I'm awesome, right? Yeah, okay. But I think he sucks. He's just a jerk. I don't like him at all. I wish he would stop following me around. I really do. So, he loves me, but I don't love him. You're also going to meet Audrey. She's a goat herd. And you may even meet her goats. I think I've introduced you now to most of the characters in the play. I hope this is going to help you follow the story. I'm not going to tell you how it ends. You're going to have to listen. And I'm so excited that you get to see our play. We'll have a question and answer afterwards. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the show!